Hi, welcome to my very first video of how to traverse the dark night of the soul without losing your ever-loving mind, or like YouTube wanted me to name it, Traversing the Dark. My name is Professor Casey Angel Eyes, and I am going to teach you how to not only walk through your tower moments and your dark night of the soul, but how to walk through them with your head held high. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. Okay, I'm 62 years old, and I was born with cancer of the bladder. The first 7 years, I don't know anything about it. It blanked out of my mind because it was so toxic. I didn't wake up until I was 8 years old. When I woke up, I was in a classroom bouncing my head off of a wall. I was in the second grade. I remember we lived right down the street from the school. So I used to go to the schoolyard and play by myself because I never fit in anywhere. People either really liked me or they didn't like me. And most of them, they didn't like me. I didn't understand then why. I do now, though. But I was swinging on a swing set, and I remember saying to myself, this is not my home. These are not my people. And then the thought left my brain, and I got up and I went home. I'm going to teach you the difference between the dark night of the soul and tower moments. They're the same, but they're different. Okay, I'm going to put my glasses on because, I'm 62 and I need glasses. Okay. And then I'm going to tell you a story so you can understand in real time what it was like for me. Now, yours is going to be different because we're all different souls. Okay, but you can get the gist. Okay, I'm real. This is not scripted. This just comes from up here in my noggin. All right. I'm not technical. I am not a technical person. So, these big words, you're not going to hear them from me. Excuse me. And I taught sailors and the captain how to cuss. So a couple of words might slip out. So you're going to have to excuse that too. Okay. Okay. What's a tower moment? Well, a tower moment is something that happens there's two types of tower moments. One that happens to you unexpectedly. Okay? But actually, it's not really to you. It's for you. It doesn't feel like it's for you, but in the end, it's for you. Okay? While it's happening, it feels like it's happening to you. Okay? And there's two types. One, that someone else or some external reason makes it happen. And the other one is when you do it, when your soul does it. Okay? Because it's time for you to grow. Okay? And I'll give you two examples. All right. The first one, and I have my notes here. Okay? So, because my mind is like a computer and I think really, really quickly. Okay? So, if I say squirrel, I'm changing the subject. But if I add something to the story and it seems like it doesn't relate, it actually does, and I can tell you that at the end. So just keep up, okay? All right. So a tower moment is actually I wrote it down, okay? The tower moment it's an ego taking a hit. It's your ego taking a hit. But it's not, dead. It's bruised a little, but you're still who you thought you were before the tower moment. Okay. The first tower, all right, let me go back to the beginning. Okay. I told you I was born with cancer of the bladder, right? And all right, up until 8 years old, right? See, that's what I'm telling you. I've had in my lifetime 9 tower moments. I had one hell of a dark night of the soul. I just got out of it. Actually, March was the 5th year. And then I was in April, and now I'm on here teaching you. Okay? That's how quick my life is gone. Like, quick. Okay? I'm an ascendant, a Capricorn ascendant. So, thank goodness, because if I was living in my Cancer North Node, I wouldn't have made it. Okay? Because my life has been one heck of a ride. All right? So, where was I? I had 9 tower moments. I've had 10 near-death experiences and one hell of a dark night of the soul. So I am totally qualified to teach you how to traverse the dark night and the tower moments. Okay? And the one thing you have to remember, though, when you're going through a tower moment or a dark night of the soul, you have to turn around and pick up that wisdom. Okay? I call it the gold, but it's wisdom. What did you learn? What did you learn? Right? Okay. So, the first one happened, well, not the first one. The 2 that I'm going to talk to you about. Excuse me. Happened in the late 90s. And let me set you up for, what I'm about to talk about. There's nothing that you could tell me that I haven't already experienced. And that is the truth. Abortion at 14. And when I was there getting it, the doctor asked me if I wanted him to put me out. And I told him, absolutely not. I want to feel exactly how it feels. And so I did. And then at 20, I had my first baby. And that was unexpected. I was on birth control pills. So she was like a surprise. Okay. But I had already made a promise to myself that what I did when I was 14, I was never going to do again. And I didn't. And it wasn't, she was, she didn't pick a good time to come around. Okay. But anyway, going forward, I have 2 children. Okay. And in the late 90s, I also had a really bad drug habit. And I didn't know until I went through my dark night that I'm also a generational curse breaker, okay, of 3 major curses: relationships, finances, and self-esteem. All right, so to break a curse, as a generational curse breaker, to break a curse, you have to actually live through them, okay? So that's, my entire life was nothing but living through the 3 major curses. Okay, so I had a heck of a ride. All right, but in the late 90s, late 80s, early 90s, my lifestyle wasn't good for my babies. So I took the opportunity to talk to my ex-husband. After the story that I'm about to tell you, I was out there on the street and I got robbed. Okay. So because I got robbed, I tried to rob someone also. Okay. Bad move, by the way. So I saw somebody sitting on his porch, and I parked in front of the house, and he came to me, and we were going to do the exchange, and I tried to grab it, and he reached in and he grabbed my keys out of my ignition. This is not a push button car. This is a turnkey car. Okay. And he took it out of my ignition. And I looked out the windshield and I said, I'm not going home tonight. I really thought that. I wasn't going to home. I wasn't going to see my babies again. I wasn't going to say goodbye. I knew I was done for. Okay. And as soon as that thought hit my head, I turned to him, and he threw the keys in my lap, and he looked at me straight in the eye, and he said, little girl, I think you better go home. And sure enough, I followed his advice. I went home. I went directly home. And then I called, the next day, I called my ex-husband, and I asked him to come see me. So he came to see me, and I said, listen, You and I both know that my lifestyle is not good for the kids. Since you're already remarried, can you please take the kids? And he agreed. So we arranged for a couple of days later for him to come take them. And so the day before he was supposed to come take them, I went to the grocery store, and I was going to rob a purse. Because I had asked my family to help me, with my drug addict self. And, I was going through NA and AA. I was, but the rooms weren't helping me because I wasn't capable of trusting anybody, because of what I've lived through. I didn't trust a lot of people. So I wasn't going to trust a complete stranger with my secrets. So it didn't work for me. I didn't go through my 12 steps and stuff like that. And I truly don't believe that once you're an addict and alcoholic, you're always an addict and an alcoholic. In my life, that wasn't true. But also, I am a starseed. I'm a Blu-ray starseed. Okay, I guess I should have started that in the beginning. But I am a Blu-ray starseed. And my purpose here was to break generational curses and show you that no matter what you've done in your lifetime, I've already experienced it. So I'm safe. I'm a safe person. Okay? I don't want you telling me your stories until I'm going to get a Discord up and going. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. And that's where the real stuff is going to happen. These are just videos because when I was going through my dark night, I didn't know what was happening. And because of that, I was lost. The only dark night people, the only people that were talking about the dark night were technical. And like I said, I'm not technical, I'm real. I cuss, I'm just me. I can't explain it any other way. But going back to my story, okay? So I go into the store. I knew there was a cop there. I've been shopping there for 2 years. Of course I knew. Okay? Consciously, I didn't know what I was doing. Subconsciously, I did. Okay? I needed to get out of the situation that I was in, and I didn't know how to do it. Okay? I asked for help, and I was denied. All right? Now, I understand why my parents did it, but still, I was still denied. Okay? So, they threw the kids up in my face. What they didn't know is I had already talked to my ex-husband about taking them. Because, like I said, subconsciously, I knew that I was going to do this. So, my intuition doesn't come in feelings. My intuition comes in words. So, while I was chasing, when I was walking around for 2 hours, excuse me, I'm going to put my feet up. Anyway, I'm trying to stand up straight and everything, but whatever. But anyway, I was trying to rob a purse. So I found one, and she had a Coca-Cola can on her cart, and I moved it because if I had just snatched the purse, the Coke would splash all over her, and I didn't want that. So I moved the purse. I moved the Coke, and I grabbed the purse. She turned around and she screamed. Then all hell broke loose, and I ran towards the cop, okay? And I sideswiped him, and I threw the purse over my shoulder so it didn't leave the grocery store, okay? But it wasn't meant to leave the grocery store. It was meant to grab someone's attention, i.e. the cop, okay? So the cop ran out after me. I ran around, all right. I ran around the parking lot, and then I finally just stopped, and he tackled me, put me in the back of the car. I had long hair, and so I put my hair in front of my face so the looky-loos couldn't see anything. And I took a deep breath. Now, was it the smartest thing to do? Heck no. No, it wasn't. I could have found another way. But at that point, I was desperate. I needed help, and that's the only way I knew how to do it. So the cop arrested me, and they put me in jail, and there was a new cell opening up. Okay, it was called the religious cell. All right. Now, I've always been spiritual, more so now than I've ever been, but I've always known that the religion was a trap. I didn't know it was a trap. I couldn't speak that, but I knew something wasn't right with it. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Okay. So they put me in they came and talked to me about going into the religious cell. And twice I said no. The last time they came and talked to me, my voice told me, take it. So I said, okay, I'll take it. So I went into the religious cell, and then the guard, one of the guards was an ordained minister, and she came in and she, I'm sorry, I moved the camera. Let me just, anyway. She came and preached to us one day, and she asked after her thing, did anybody have a question? And my left arm shot up like this, and I had no clue how I did that, because I wasn't thinking my left arm going up. It just did it by itself. And she said, pointed to me, what is it? And I said, I'll be out of here within a week. And everybody there, including the guard, busted out into laughter. I was so humiliated. I was sitting at that metal table, excuse me, trying to hide my face because I was humiliated. Sorry, hold on. Thank you. And she left. And I'm just sitting there going, oh my goodness, what did I do? What did I do? She came back about 5 minutes later and she called my name. And I said, yeah, that's me. And she says, you're out of here. That quick. And I stayed in there for a month. Now, back then, we didn't have any cell phones, so you had to remember all the numbers. Luckily, I remembered my sponsor number from the NA, so I called her. I tried to get in touch with my mother, and the phone just rang and rang and rang and rang and rang. I asked her later after I got out and stuff, didn't she hear it? I mean, was she home that day? She goes, I was home. She said she was home all day long. She didn't hear the phone ring. But my sponsor did. Her name was Patty. And she picked me up. The very first thing I did was smoke a cigarette, of course, because I am a smoker. And then got a hamburger. And then she took me to her house. And the next weekday, she enrolled me in an outpatient rehab where I went from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon or so, every day, Monday through Friday. And then, of course, I was with her and her family on the weekends. I did that for a month, and then they put me in in-house rehab. And like I told you, one of my generational curses is relationships, okay? So just keep that in mind. And I was there for like 3.5 weeks. It was a month thing. I was there 3.5 weeks, and I walked out of there with a guy. I dated this guy for a year, and you can just imagine how toxic that was, okay? Because we both went back out on the street. That was me having a tower moment. I caused it. I definitely caused that, okay? The second one was 2001, okay? I married a man that I shouldn't have married because I was too much of a weenie to say, no, I don't want to marry you. But because we had bought a house together, I wanted the house. I didn't want the man. I wanted the house, okay? It was my money, but it was his name because I had bad credit at the time. But I had already started my cleaning business. I did that for 35 years. I started in a cleaning business because my youngest daughter had staph infection on top of open wounds from her chicken pox. And that wasn't a good thing. She looked like I threw her in scalding hot water. I rushed her to the emergency room, and they actually called the cops because they thought that I was abusing my daughter, until they actually looked at it and found out what it was. She had to stay in the hospital for a week or so, okay? She was really bad. She was only 3. And I asked my boss if I could stay with her, and they said absolutely not. They wouldn't let me. I would lose my job. And I was a single mother, so I had to work. At least I had to work. Okay? And so luckily for me, my mom and my sister worked for a place that had PTO. So they would take turns staying the day with her, and I would spend every night with her. Now that was something, because you remember I was born with cancer. So the first 3 years of my life, I was very, very, very sick. Okay? And going into a hospital or doctors, even today, even now, I can't stand it. I can only stay in a hospital for like an hour. But when I was with my daughter, I spent the whole night there. My mom would bring, or my sister would bring me clothes. She was in a private room with a bathroom, and I would take a shower, get dressed, and go to work. And that's what we did for a week or so. So when the opportunity arose where I could start my own business, I did it. And it was a cleaning business. I loved it. I loved the cleaning business. You put your headphones on and you just go to work, and you mind your own business, and you just clean, And my philosophy says I'll clean one house at a time all over the world, or something like that. I can't remember, but it's been a while. Let's see, cleaning. It doesn't really matter what it was. I'm getting off on a tangent. So where was I? There you go. Losing the house. I had a knock on the door in 2000. Okay, I'll tell you our marriage in a nutshell. He left me at the reception. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, I think I blessed my office. But anyway, he left me at the reception. Took his dad home. My sister had to take me home from the wedding. So there you go. That was our wedding. Yeah, that was our relationship. But anyway, in 2001, or no, it wasn't 2001. We got married in 2001. 2002, around a couple of weeks before Christmas, I got a knock on the door. And it was a sheriff's officer giving me eviction notice. Even though I was paying for half the mortgage, I was giving him the money to pay the mortgage because the mortgage was in his name. And I was paying all the utilities. He was taking it and he was doing other things with it. And he didn't tell me. I should have known, but I wasn't paying attention. I'll tell you the truth. I just wasn't paying attention. And so I had a decision to make. What was I going to do? Was I going to continue to be married with him, or was I going to do something else? And I chose to do something else. I decided to move. I moved states. I went back to my mom's hometown. But the one thing that I forgot was I was going with him. I was going with myself. So I took my problems that I thought I was leaving in Florida, and I was taking them to my new state. And as soon as I stepped foot on this soil, I live in Georgia, by the way. I lost my wallet. I lost everything. As soon as I stepped foot here. So that should told me something. So those are the two different dark nights. Both of them left me with nothing. And I had to start all over. My ego got hit, but I was still me, okay? And I could put my boots back on and I can continue to rebuild, which is what I did, okay? And I did that 9 times. 9 different times. 9 different times is what I did. But that's the dark night. Okay, I mean, that's not the dark night. that was an ego death, okay? Now, a dark night of the soul is something I feel totally different, okay? It started in 2021, okay? All right, let me jump back to 2016. I was working my business, and I was also doing a 12-hour shifts 3 days a week. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at a distribution center. Okay, because I wanted to buy a house for me and my children. My youngest child came with me to Georgia. Okay, and by this time she had already had it. Years and years have passed. Okay, she already had 3 kids. So I thought it was time for us to get a house. All right. I'm also claircognizant. So when she first moved here, a little after I did in 2003, we were driving around. I call it getting lost. Okay. And so I was just talking to her, and I was saying, when we buy a house, we're going to have a 5-bedroom, 3-bath home, because we're going to have a lot of people living with us. And sure enough, it happened in 2017. All right. But in 2016, I was sitting on the porch at 3 o'clock in the morning, drinking coffee, minding my own business, and the energy changed. The energy of this earth changed in 2016. Okay. A little after that time, I found David Icke on YouTube. Okay, go listen to him if you're interested. He tells you about the stuff that's actually really going on. He talks about the archons. Well, I don't know if he talks about the archons. I believe in the archons. I believe in the demiurge. Okay, and everybody has their own way of seeing the world. That's just mine. You might have your own, but that's mine. Okay. But I could only listen to him for a year, because the stuff that he was talking to us about bothered me a lot. A lot. Okay. So skip a year and we move into our home. Okay. I worked a lot. By this time I worked a lot. Okay. I had to work 6 months, with maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 days a month off. So I was working a lot, saving every penny I could to buy this home. All right. The very first day I moved in was horrible. It was supposed to be a really good day for me, and it didn't turn out to be very good. I prefer not to talk about that time. So, skip to, I don't even know why I was on that. I really didn't. I told you, see, my mind, squirrel. My mind is weird. But anyway, skip to 2021, okay? My parents were sick. Are sick. Well, all right. My brother was my father figure, because I didn't grow up really with a father, okay? The first 7 years, there was a male in the house, but I wouldn't call him a father from any stretch of the imagination. He was the type of man that fought the court for giving my mom $50 a month for child support. And I'm not talking $50 per child. I'm talking about $50 for all 3 kids. He fought her. So, yeah, he's that type of man. So anyway, we talked. My brother got really sick. He was in stage 4 kidney failure, and my mother couldn't take care of him anymore. So my family and I, we were already up here. My kids and I were already up here. We talked them into moving up here. So they bought a house that her sister owned that she couldn't sell. That should have been a first red flag. But anyway, so when they moved here in 2020. She could take care of them, but it was getting harder and harder and harder for her to do so. So I was heavily suggested that I take care of them. And I had promised my mom when I was 10 that she would never see the inside of a nursing home ever, because my great-grandmother was in one and they treated her really, really bad. And I didn't want my mom to ever experience that. So when the time came, I just lived up to what I promised her. So I moved in. I thought it was just temporary, but it turned out to be permanent. Because in September of 21, my brother passed away. I call it going to the next greatest adventure. Okay, because your soul never dies. Your body, your meat suit, this suit right here, yeah, it goes back to Mother Gaia. But your soul never dies. It's eternal. And that is true. Okay? So, he passed away in September of 21. And I was already into, I told you, cleaning. So I was cleaning a lady's house for 5 years. And when her and her family took off to go on vacation, I looked after her animals. So on December 31st, I was at her house looking after her animals. And before I got to her house, I went and bought a half a gallon of vodka. Okay? Eventually I got, I didn't tell you this. Eventually I got over doing drugs. Okay? One day I just woke up and I said, nope, I'm done. And I quit. No side effects, no nothing. I just stopped. I was done with it. And, but then I met a guy who was a heavy drinker. And so I switched it from drugs to liquor. Okay, just to let you know, that was back in 2010. Okay, so now we're at 2021. December 31st, 2021, I started drinking. And I woke up the next morning, don't remember a damn thing because I was in a blackout. I was always in a blackout because, not always, you know, I didn't, okay, yeah, I kind of did drink. I could stay 4 days without drinking, okay? But I did it a lot. I drink a lot because I was hiding from myself. I was hiding from my feelings that I felt. You know, my ascendant is a Capricorn. So, we're stoic, you know, we're the workers, we're the leaders, we're the strong ones, okay? But I have a Cancer North Node, and the feelings were there, and I was trying to hide them. Okay, so I did it through drugs and alcohol. All right, was it the smart thing to do? Hell no, it wasn't. But I did it that way anyway. Okay, like I told you, I always have to pick the hardest thing. So, hence me teaching about the dark night of the soul. Where was I? Oh yeah, I woke up. I was still drunk. So I ran to my phone to make sure I didn't, you know, drunk call somebody because I had a really bad habit of doing that. Luckily, I did not. Okay, and then the second place I went was the freezer to see how much I drank, and I almost drank the whole damn bottle. Now I've heard a lot of people would have died from that. Oh, I don't know if I could say that. Went to the next greatest adventure with that. I did not. I just woke up drunk. And I looked at the bottle and I had a decision to make. Do I want to continue to drink like this, or do I want to do something different? And I opened up the bottle and I poured it down the drain. No shakes, no wanting. I was done. I was done with it. And I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it. I haven't drank since 2021. Well, in January the 1st, 2022, I quit drinking. Okay. By March of 2022, I was thrown kicking, screaming into the dark night of the soul. Great Spirit, that's who I call, you know, I don't call him God because it, just in my opinion, is my opinion only, okay? God spelled backward is a dog. So I don't call them, and it's a them. It's feminine and masculine energies, so I call them them, okay? They had to wait until I was sober before I could go into my dark night, okay? Because I would have just hid my feelings if I hadn't have. I wouldn't have made it through the dark night. I really wouldn't have had I been drinking. All right, so March of 2022, I was thrown into the dark night. Okay. That same year, I had to retire from my business because my mom, once we lost my brother, she went downhill. Okay. So I had to be 24/7 with her. And I had to sell it was a 3-year-old car. It was a 2019 Honda Civic sedan. Oh, it was blue. Oh, he was so pretty. He was so pretty. I took care of that thing. I did. I loved that car. I did. But I had to sell it. So I did. I had to sell my car. In 2023, I had to sell my house. And my daughter and I got in an argument. And I said, look, I can't pay for the house anymore. Do you have the mortgage? And she said, no. I said, so this is the decision that we have to make. We can either have it foreclosed on and lose everything, okay, or we can sell it. And so we decided to sell it. And I know the Great Spirits had their hands in the car because the car sold in 2 days when I sold it in 22. The house sold before we even went on the market for the top price in 2023. Now, I know my money was running out in 2023. So I was, you know how they say, oh, just do your mantras, just, you have to really believe and, always, see the best and whatever. So I truly believed we were going to have a miracle. We didn't. We didn't get a miracle. So I lost my credit. I had an 800 plus score credit. So in 2024, I lost all my credit. Yes, I sure did. And no miracle was in sight. It was very hard. It was extremely hard. Because even now, we're living off my mom's income. Because I can't leave the house. She can't be alone. I have my granddaughter here, so if I have to go and take off and do errands, she's here with her. But most of the time, I'm here with her inside the house. So there was no way for me to get back into my boots and go and pound the pavement and get another job. That was cut off. I couldn't do it. So let me go back to 2023. No, are we still in 23? No, we were in 24 then. But back in 23, I paid $6,000. 6,000. Was it 6? No, it was in 22 that I did it. Okay, I have to think. Anyway. So back in 2022, I paid $6,000 after I sold my car. I paid $6,000 to go to learn how to do medical billing and coding. Okay, and I was trying to take the course. I really wasn't, but my mind wasn't there. And I'm claircognizant as well as clairaudient. And a thought came into my head, and it said, this is the last time you're going to get up and do something. Don't you want to do what you really want to do? Because I've always wanted to work in the spiritual field, always. But I thought it was going to be like car reading or rune reading or card reading or being a medium, stuff like that. I didn't realize it was a professor of the dark night of the soul. That was like, oh, really? Are you serious? But yeah, here I am. So I think it's because I've had so much experiences, that my whole life has been nothing but teaching me to be who I am today. Okay. So I chose spirituality. And I didn't have a safety net, but I really wanted to work in the spiritual field. So I chose that, and I let that full paid school just take $6,000. It was $6,000, a very expensive lesson. Totally very expensive lesson. So let's skip down to 2025. So 2024, I lost all my credit. Okay. 2025, as you can tell, I don't know if it shows up very well, but I have a scar that goes all the way down to here, all the way down my neck and back up. My granddaughter had a dog who we adopted. And she was great. She was up until she came of age. And then she got very aggressive. And she started attacking my dogs. I have a Vizsla, and I have an older pit bull. And she was after the older pit bull, who happened to be a female. And she attacked my pit bull twice. And each time I was able to pry her mouth off my pit bull. Okay? Now, she hurt my fingers the first time, but it was just, a little bit. It wasn't very much, I have a very high threshold of pain because of the experiences I had to endure. Okay? The second time, she hurt me worse. Okay? And she hurt my leg a lot. It was swollen. And my fingers. And then the third time, she went after my Vizsla, who was a male. And she got jealous of him because she thought that I was giving him a treat, not her. Okay? But the only thing I was doing is trying to clean his ears before I gave both of them a treat. But she didn't see it that way. So she attacked my Vizsla. And, of course, I'm the type of person that if something like this happens, I don't think. I just jump. I did it when she was attacking my pit bull. Okay? So I got him away from her, and then she turned on me, and she bit me. She grabbed my face like this, and she ripped all the way down to my chin, and she stuck her bottom teeth into my neck. And the doctor, I'll tell you what the doctor said in a minute. Luckily, my granddaughter was there. So she took her dog and put her in the cage. And then she called 911. Okay? And I was just sitting there watching blood just pour out of my face. Okay? And I told her, I said, I don't think I need an emergency. I don't think you need to call 911. She looked at me. She goes, Grandma, you need to go to the hospital. Now, you remember, I hate hospitals. I don't like hospitals. But so the paramedics came. They took me and put me on the gurney. And I didn't feel the dog biting me. I saw her doing it. I saw her, going, biting me like this. I mean, she was, oh my goodness. Anyway, it's kind of scary to think about it, but I didn't feel it. I didn't feel me when I was bleeding on the floor. I didn't feel that either. Okay. I didn't feel it at all. I guess it was my adrenaline. I don't know. But so when they were taking me and putting me on the gurney, I was joking with them. I said, well, I guess I'm not going to do my yard tomorrow. And one of them says, no, ma'am, I don't think you will. And they put me in the ambulance and sped me to the emergency room, which of course cost me $2,500. Okay. They took me into the trauma center, and the doctors are like working on me, and one of the doctors asked me if I was allergic to anything. And I said, yeah, bad men and bad women. I'm allergic to bad people. Okay. I was joking with them. Whatever. I mean, what am I going to do? So they sewed me up, and 6 hours later, I was released from the hospital. Now, this whole wound area was scabbed over by then in 6 hours. Excuse me for a minute. Oh my goodness, the last time I usually like sage, but I don't know. It's getting to me. But anyway, I'm also a smoker, so there you go. It could have been a smoking car. So 6 hours later, it had already scabbed over, and 2.5 weeks later, it was healed. And then now we're in 26. And the credit card that I defaulted on, now they're going to come after me and sue me for $15,000. The house was falling apart. I had to buy food. That was the only other alternative other than the miracle I thought I was going to get, which I didn't. Okay. And so I spent it all on a credit card thinking I was going to get a miracle, which I didn't. Okay. Because I wrote it down here. It was a good one. I got it from somewhere. Where was I get it? I got it from someone. Hold on. It was YouTube. Ah. Where is it? I don't know. No one's going to come save you. Sorry. Because in the dark night of the soul... Now, in a tower moment, yeah, Great Spirit's there. Dark night of the soul... Oh, Great Spirit's there too. But it's too quiet. It's quiet. And that's what hurt me the most. That Great Spirit was quiet. That my guides were quiet. That... After everything that I had to go through those 5 years, that was the one that hurt me the most. Because I thought that the divine left me. They didn't, of course. They didn't. But I thought. So, right after I got a sheriff's officer handing me this notice, right after that, then I got a call from my insurance company that I've been paying on for 36 years, life insurance company. And they said that I wasn't paying enough. Now they're going to triple my payment, which I couldn't even afford food. How am I going to afford a triple payment of life insurance? You know? And I told them, they said, but you could take $1,900 and you can close out your life insurance. And I was going to do that. I really was. Until something hit my head again. Really? Are you going to really let them do that? And I started thinking about it. I said, hold on, wait a minute. You know, no. Because I paid in over $10,000 of, you know, this life insurance. And they're only going to give me $1,900? Hell no. So I started fighting that. You know, and then I did it here in Georgia, but I got the life insurance in Florida. So now I'm talking to Florida. So yeah, it's been one hell of a show. Okay. So fast forward to when I have to answer this lawsuit. I couldn't even find a lawyer to help me walk me through it. I actually used AI. Because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. You know, I had a stack of papers like this big. I didn't need all this stack of papers because I thought I had to go to the, I thought I had to go to the court and I had to have them sign off on it and this and that. And you know, it's all online. But that's me not reading the whole thing. Okay. It was horrible. It really was. It was horrible. They could still sue me, but they can't sue me for another 6 months or so. They only have one more time. Just to let you know. In the meantime, it was harder and harder to buy food. So I went and tried to get a food bank. And I got an appointment. And, you know, I had to show my Social Security. I thought they were non-profit, but obviously not. And I went there and, you know, they gave us food. And, you know, when I first made the appointment the first time, they said because I'm 62 and my mother's 87, then we could come back every month. That's a lie. Because when I tried to make the second appointment, some lady said, no, you have to come back every 90 days. And I was shocked. Somebody could starve in 90 days. You know, my mom is like this, you know. I mean, come on now. So my daughter, she says, well, Mom, you know, there's a whole bunch of food banks. Why don't you just go around to each food bank? And I said, hell no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I don't have to beg for food. Fuck that. And I didn't. You know, and that was the end of my dark night. That's when I realized that I was a sovereign divine being and I don't have to beg for food. Now, those were the hardest 5 years. I've had a lot of hard times in my life, a lot, especially being a generational curse breaker. But those 5 years stripped me of everything I thought I was, but I really wasn't. This is me. I was always quiet. I was always a yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. You know, I always put people before me. I attracted narcissists like bees are attracted to whatever, to a flower. I mean, men and women. I dated both, just to let you know. Okay? So it's like, oh my goodness, when's it gonna stop? And then sometime in late March, which is my birthday month, which if you'll remember back in 21, 22, that's when it started, right? So now we're in 26, and that's when it ended, March. It was what, 5 years? 5 years. 22, 23, 24, 25, 4 years? 4 or 5 years, I don't know. Anyway, it really doesn't matter. It was a long time. I was watching a documentary on the Qing dynasty. They were called the Red Lanterns. And that's where this idea came up from. Okay? And my goal is to teach. I mean, I used to be an Amway distributor. Okay? So I took their business model and I'm going to apply it to my school, because I feel that these aren't just videos. This is going to be a school. Okay? I already have a creative director, and I already have a therapist, and they're in other countries. The therapist is in Israel, and my creative director is in Canada, and I live in the United States. And it just tumbled out within 3 weeks after I watched this video. Pay attention when you're in a dark night. Pay attention when you're in your tower moment. Things will come to you. Okay? And here I am. You know, what did I learn? Okay. This is what I want you to know. When you're in a tower moment and when you're in a dark night and you get stressed out, it's okay to argue with the divine. Think about me being a 58-year-old woman rolling on. I didn't really do this, but, you know, kind of did. Okay, I was looking at my candle. I don't know if it's my candle over there. It's my altar in my bookcase. But anyway, squirrel. I was arguing with them. You know, like, come on, if I could just win the lottery, then I can, you know, pay for the house and the kids can have a nice safe place and I can live with my mom and blah, blah, blah. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Okay? And then I'd get mad. What are you doing? Why? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do wrong? What did I do? Why are you punishing me? You know? And then I'd come back, and I did this 100 times. I think 100 times in the years that I was going through the dark night. I'd go up, I quit. I'm done. Fuck this. I don't care. I'm done. I'm done with this. And my guides in Great Spirit would just laugh at me. They would chuckle. They wouldn't, like, they're not mean. They were chuckling because they know me. 2 days later, I was back at it again. I learned how to stand up for myself through those times. I learned how to set boundaries. I was never taught setting boundaries. I didn't have any boundaries. That's why everybody walked all over me. I was a doormat. I was yes man, yes sir, yes ma'am. Whatever you say, you're first, me last. Always. It was my whole life. My whole life was like that. My voice didn't matter. Fuck that, my voice does matter. I have a lot of wisdom. I've been living on this earth for 262 lifetimes. 262 lifetimes. I'm a bit beat up, but I'm still here. Okay? My very first lifetime here was in Lemuria. I have a lot of wisdom. All right? And my voice does matter, just like your voice matters. And I'm talking to the starseeds. I'm talking to the light workers. And I'm talking to anybody who doesn't fit into Matrix tiny little fucking boxes. Okay? That's who I'm talking to. I see you. I see you. I was you. I'm sorry. Give me a moment. I was you. I'm not your leader. I'm not your general. I walk beside you. I know how it feels. I know what hurt means. I can feel it. I don't feel it now, but I did back then. And I want to teach you how to remember that you are divine and you're sovereign. And if you're strong enough to break free from the Matrix, you'll be free. And I'm telling you, all my bits and pieces, all my shame, all the things that I've done, because the Matrix can't touch me anymore. They took everything. From the very beginning of my life in this lifetime, they took everything. And guess what? I'm still standing. And you can do it too. You can do it. All right? Like I said, I look a little worse than wear. But if you lived my life, so would you. Okay? I'm sorry I broke down. I have this big dream. You know, have you watched Matrix? The movie? You remember when Neo was in the pod and he woke up and he had all this shit attached to him? That's what we are. We're the Matrix battery. That's what we are. And we have to unplug ourselves. And to do that, sometimes it means stripping everything away from you. And, you know, when I first started to investigate what the hell I was in, everybody kept saying, oh, it's for you. It's for you. Fuck that. It doesn't feel like it's for me. It feels like it's happening to me. But they were actually right. Because if I had to do it again, I would. Would I have done it better? Yeah, probably. Probably. Because then I'd know what was going on. That's why I'm on the videos. That's why I'm making this video. Not just this one. I have others coming. You know, I can't tell you everything in one go. Okay? I just wanted to explain to you what a dark night of the soul is and a tower moment. They both hurt. But it's if you're having tower moments, your soul's getting ready to have a dark night. Yeah. I had 9. 9 tower moments in my life. And one big, gigantic dark night of the soul that stripped me to my core. But what I found there was gold. I like myself. So this is what I want you to do. No, not for me, but for you. Okay? I want you to go and I want you to look into your bathroom mirror. I want you to stare into your eyes. And I want you to I want you to tell yourself, I love you. Yeah? How do you feel? Because when I first did it, I felt nothing. I treated myself like I was crap my whole life because that's what I taught. That's what I was taught. I was taught that I was nothing. That I was here to serve. And screw how I felt. My voice didn't matter. I got lied to. But I trusted. I trusted the people that were talking to me like that. I did. They were wrong. I have a lot to say, as you can tell. I did that for a couple of weeks. Every day, I'd look in the mirror and I'd say, I love you. Until it stopped feeling like nothing. And I started to believe it. And now, sometimes I walk by my bathroom mirror and I look in my eyes and I say, you know, I love you. And I blow myself a kiss. I turn around and walk out of the bathroom. Because I do. I do love myself. Now I do. It works. My very first mantras are good. My very first mantra is, or was, and you can steal it if you want, I have more than enough prosperity to share with others. What I can't stand is these people saying, and I know they're just trying to hack their jewelry or something, wear this bracelet and prosperity will come knocking at your door. Bullshit. Because I tried. It doesn't. Trust me, it doesn't. If you can get your frequency up to the frequency of money, then you'll be loaded. I was born with high frequency. But then again, I am a generational curse breaker. It could happen to somebody else. I'm not saying it can't. For me, it didn't. Okay? What else do I want to know? Listen to music that feels your soul. Because the dark night of the soul and tower moments are spiritual. I don't care shit what anybody says. Okay. So here is your homework if you want it. Okay. Oh, let's go back to spirituality and exchange. Okay. I probably already went over it, but I'm going to go over it again. Okay. There is an exchange of energy between someone that's teaching you and yourself. Okay. There is. I mean, psychics, you know, card readers, mediums, whatever. Normally, it's money. But I know for a fact that when you're going through a dark night of the soul and when you're going to a tower moment, the first thing that goes is your money. So I'm not asking for money. All of this is free. All of it. But there is a price to pay. And the price is, are you going to make a commitment to you? Not to me, because I've already been through it. But are you going to make a commitment to you to remember who you are? Are you going to do the work? Because I can't do the work for you. I can give you the lantern, because that's what I call you from now on. My lantern warriors. Okay? I got that from the Qing Dynasty, by the way. I stole it. They were called the Red Lanterns from the Qing Dynasty. It was a group of females. They were young females, middle-aged females, and older ones, the crones, like myself. Okay, and they each had a part. You know, the crones fed. You know, there was the nurses, stuff like that. Okay, the younger ones were actually training to fight. Okay, and they all thought that they had mystical powers where they could just flap their fans and the ships out in sea would sink. Okay? They truly believed that. Until they went on the battlefield and found out that they couldn't do any of that. So they had a decision to make. Oh my goodness, hold on. I think that's a cough. Oh my goodness. Anyway, they had a decision to make. Were they going to retreat or were they going to fight? And they fought. And that I respected. So are you going to retreat or are you going to fight? It's up to you. I fought. You know? All right. So if you want to know if you're a starseed, okay? Go on, I can't pronounce it. I've always had a problem with spelling and pronunciation and sentences. Now, English is my very first language. It's my only language, by the way. And I can't structure a sentence to save my life, and I can't spell to save my life. So there you go. It's something wrong up here when it comes to the words. Mean something to me. Words mean a lot to me, but I can't understand why words sound the same but spelled different. I can't wrap my mind around it. So and it bothered me my whole life, really. I was made fun of. I felt dumb, but now I don't. It's just who I am, and it's not going to change. I tried really hard. I really did, but it just didn't change. So I'm just running with it. I use AI a lot. How do you spell? Whatever. All right, so I'm going to spell it for you. Get a pen and paper. I will hashtag it, so you don't have to really write it down if you can't. It's PLEIADESK. No, not K. X. So PLEIADESX.com. It's $100. It's $100. No, it's not. It's free. It's a 100-question test. And no, you don't have to write anything. You just check a box. Okay? You check a box. You read the questions. You check a box. Okay? And at the bottom of this 100-question test, the computer in that website adds it all up. And it'll give you a number. And then you check it. I did it. And let's see. When did I do it? I did it in 2004. 2003, 2004 is when I did it. Anyway, so do that. I also want you to listen to a song. It's called Revolution by The Score. Listen to that. That's me singing to you. You don't want me to hear. You don't want to hear me sing. So I'm going to let The Score do it for me. And, it's copyrighted, so I can't play it on my videos. But I'll hashtag them also. Okay, and then I want you to go to Astro-seek. Once again, I'm going to hashtag them too. Now, that one's going to be interesting. Because Astro-seek is an astrology site. And you can get your Draconic. I'll write all this down. Draconic, your Tropical, and your Sidereal. Okay? All three of them. Get all three of them. And I want you to study it. I don't want you to read it. I want you to study it. Okay? You'd be really surprised what you're going to find out. Because Tropical is your human side. That's your human astrology. Draconic, that's your soul. That's what your soul came here to live and to experience in this lifetime. Because, all right, let me just save that for a minute. Okay, and then the Sidereal is your karmic. And I also want you to get, it's called a karmic tale. It's actually just your birth date. Okay? And find out what your issues are and what you need to overcome in this lifetime. Very interesting. Usually people who go in through the dark night of the soul, they color or they create. My creative director, she's a genius when it comes to creations. I can't do that. I don't have that in me. I draw stick figures. One of my grandchildren, I have 6 grandchildren, and one of my grandchildren, she's an artist. No, actually 2. 2 are artists. I didn't get that trait. But anyway, but I am a detective. And I have notebooks, large notebooks filled with nothing but information. Spiritual information. That's how I found out I was Blu-ray. If something pops in your head, go investigate it. Why did it pop in your head? There's a reason. So go and investigate it. You never know. You might be claircognizant and don't even know it. Okay, so it's Astro-seek. And let's see, the Starseed test, the revolution. Okay, and here are your questions. In your heart, what is the one thing you are most afraid to leave behind? In your heart, what is the one thing you are most afraid to leave behind? Think about it. What is it? Number 2, are you ready? Oh, I already read this to you. See? I'm telling you. Hello. And I'm not going to erase all this. I'm going to show you exactly who I am. So, my mistakes, please forgive. But I'm not going to do this video over again. I tried 2 days ago to do a video. And I've got nothing but the Matrix sticking his ugly hand in there. And I got so frustrated, I just erased all the videos. And I took a day off yesterday. Because in the dark night of the soul and in your tower moment, you need to take some time. You can't always fight. You need to take some time. You need to love yourself. And now that you know the difference between the dark night of the soul and the tower moment, and I hope you do understand it, even though I go off to tangents, I'm going to teach you some breath work. Okay? This is something, when you get to where you just can't take it anymore, this is something you need to do. Okay? If you want to take it, you could tweak it. You could do, see, the stuff that I'm telling you, I want you to take it, and I want you to tweak it to you. This is me. This is what I do. But you can tweak it any which way you want to. What you're going to do is you're going to breathe through your nose. Right? And then you're going to visualize white light coming into your nose. Okay? And then you're going to visualize from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. The white light is just all over. Starting from your head, go all the way down your arms, go all the way down your legs, bottom of your feet, and then when you come back up to your chest area, then you're going to blow it out your mouth. But see, you're not going to blow out white smoke. You're going to blow out black smoke. You're going to breathe in white, blow out black. Okay? You're going to take another deep breath. You're going to scan your whole body. And then it's going to come out your mouth. But now it's dark gray smoke. You're going to do it again. And it's going to come out your mouth. Light gray smoke. And you're going to do it again. And you're going to come out your mouth. Smoke from a cigarette. It's like a dirty brown. Okay? Yeah, I know it's disgusting. But my last addiction. I'm going to kick it. I am. I'm just waiting for my soul to decide. Because that's how I kicked all my other addictions. I just woke up and said, okay, that's it. And I know this is going to happen with my cigarettes too. So I'm just waiting. Just waiting. Okay. And then the last time you're going to breathe in white light, you're going to scan your body. But then when you blow it out, you're going to go, ooh, make a noise. It'll make you feel better. I taught someone how to do that once. You know what she told me? Oh, that's too much. It's okay. Okay. Too much? All right. Works for me. So that is all I have for you. Thank you for listening to me. And I hope you will continue to watch my videos. Because I know going through the dark night and going through a tower moment is not the easiest thing. And I want you to know that I'm here for you. I am. I'm here to teach you. And as soon as I get my Discord up, I'll let you know. It's going to be a closed classroom. Okay, so, don't put any of your secrets in the comment section. If you liked my video, put a lantern emoji or a flashlight emoji or a torch emoji. Because I'm not here for views. I'm not here for likes. I'm not. If you want to like it, fine. If you don't, it's okay with me too. I don't really care. I'm doing what my mission says to do. And that was to go on social media and tell the truth. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So, with that, I'm going to end it. And I will see you later. Peace. Hi, welcome to my channel. This is how to traverse the dark night of the soul without losing your ever-loving mind. Ever-loving mind. And I'm going to tell you why I'm laughing. Okay? Or what YouTube likes to call it, traversing the darkness. My name is Casey Angel Eyes. I am Professor Casey Angel Eyes. And I am your professor with how to traverse the dark night. My my previous video was about the difference between the dark night of the soul and a tower moment. So go and watch that video. This is just an add-on because I missed some stuff. Okay. I'm long-winded or something. I don't know. Anyway, and the reason why I'm laughing is because I made an hour-long video, an hour and some change. Long video, right? And then I went back into the dining room to have me a cup of coffee and you know, sync up my videos or whatever. I use AI because even though I've been an Arcturian and a Pleiadian, an Andromedan, and any other kind of I'm lost when it comes to videos. I'm lost when it comes to technology. I'm old school. I'm 62. You know? I mean, I was around before even the internet. All right? But anyway, let me just continue. My videos are real. This is just me. I'm just sitting here talking to you like you're in the room with me. Okay? Which, I mean, technically you are. I look harsh because I've been up for such a long time. I did an hour-long video, and then I went into another office that I have, which is actually just my dining room table, okay? And don't tell anybody. And I spent the last, let's see, I started filming at 2. I finished filming at 3. It is now, what, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning? And I had a hell of a time trying to get my video into the iCloud. I had a hell of a time, okay? So I finally, with the help of AI, thank goodness, I'm here to finish what I forgot to say. Okay, when you're going through a dark night of the soul and when you're going through a tower moment, okay, the first thing you have to do is surrender. If things start, people, places, and things, if they start falling away from you, don't grab them. Don't. Because they can't go where you're going. So Great Spirit is getting rid of them for you. Okay? And if you try to grab it back, it's like grabbing sand and trying to hold it in your hand with your fingers open. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. So just let it go. You know? Yeah, you can hurt. I get it. I mean, listen to my other videos. See what the hell I went through. Okay? But it's designed to be that way. It's designed to strip you from everything that you're not. You know, in my case, you know, I'm a Capricorn ascendant, so it's always about, you know, houses, cars, stuff like that. All of that got stripped away. All of it. All of it. My freedom got stripped away because I'm here with my mother. She's 87. And she needs 24/7 watch. So I can't even go outside. And unless I have, you know, I mean, I can go out to the yard and stuff like that, but I can't, like, take off for hours and hours. I can't leave her here by herself. So I'm sequestered into the house. Okay, so everything was taken away. Everything. Go listen to my other video. But going back to surrender. You just have to surrender. Just do it. Because I didn't surrender for 3 years. And it just got harder and harder and harder for me until finally I just gave up. And I said, okay, Great Spirit, if that's what you want, then I surrender. And I surrendered fully. And even though it was a challenge, I did it. Okay? And another thing, if you want to really know, I think I already said this, but if you really want to know what kind of life I led, listen to Sia, I think her name is Sia, Chandelier. Go listen to that. Go listen to that. That was me in a nutshell. It was. I felt just like that. Anyway, and another thing, when you remember when you're sovereign and divine, the matrix is going to come after you. Okay? Trust me, it came after me tonight. It came after me 2 days ago when I first started trying to film. It said I didn't have enough storage on my phone. I have an iPhone just for work. Okay? And they said I didn't have enough space. So instead of buying, I think 5 more GBs, whatever that is, gigabytes, I decided to get 2 TBs. Okay, that should have been a hell of a lot of storage, okay? And it was in the iCloud, but not on my phone. So I was filming this part before I erased it. So I'm redoing it, okay? It took me 3 hours. 3 hours to figure it out and to try to get it to move into the iCloud. Okay? And it's still not, I mean, it's going slow. And I erased everything that I was supposed to erase. I mean, my goodness gracious, it's been a challenge. Okay? So when the matrix goes after you, and it will, okay, just talk to your team. Go ahead, because AI and I were trying to get it to download, okay, to do something, okay, and it wouldn't do it. It got stuck on pause. So finally, I just got frustrated, and I looked up to my ceiling and I said, "Okay, Great Spirit, if you want me to do this, which is what I'm called, this is my mission, then help me." And within a couple of minutes, it started working, and then I come back in here and I got filming again. And where is it? Let me show. Well, it's on, the tripod is here, but I had to take the part to squeeze your phone. I had to take it off of this one because I broke the one. I broke the one that I was using. This one, see? It's broken. See? Yeah. How the hell did I do that? I don't have a clue. I don't know. But that was not going to stop me. Nothing's going to stop me. Nothing. And this is what I screamed at the Matrix. Nothing is going to stop me from doing my mission. I spent 62 years in hell to be right here. And nothing is going to stop me. Absolutely nothing. Not my hair, not my nothing. I mean, I put my hair up. I didn't even take it down. And I got a little piece over here that's doing its thing. So excuse the way I look. I mean, I just, look at that. Oh my goodness gracious. Just, I just get frustrated. I really just get very, very frustrated. And I'm sick of it. I even screamed at the Matrix today. I said, just take your hands off me. Just take your hands off me. Really, just take it off. I mean, if you could be sitting in my seat right now, you'd feel the same thing. It's like it grabbed onto my my back of my shirt, and it won't let me move until I have to swipe my hand behind it, you know, and tell it to get off me. So here I am, in my glory. And oh, that's how I see this. That's where I got that. This right here, this part here, I got it off of this one. And I put it on my tripod. Don't ask me how I did it. I don't know. I'm just glad I did. Okay, so anyway, that's all right. So I didn't read the rest of those questions. So I'm going to say it again. These are questions that you should ask yourself. Don't put it in the comment section. It's none of, you know, this is for you. You know, comment sections for everybody. So, you know, don't put it in the comment section if you don't want people to know about it. That's what I'm trying to say. The questions are this. In your heart, what is the one thing you're most afraid to leave behind? Second one, are you ready to be chosen and held responsible to your divine potential? And the third one, are you ready to provide the energy of courage and honesty required to complete this exchange between us? Because see, I'm not, like I said before, I'm not charging you any money. This is totally free. Totally. And so is my Discord. When I get it up and running, you know, it's totally free of money exchange. There will be no money exchange. Okay? I can't say totally free because you do have to make a commitment to yourself to heal, to remember, to do what it takes to become free of the matrix. That's what you have to do. And that's not easy. It's not an easy thing. I'm telling you, it's not. It keeps popping its ugly little head up, and I have to keep swatting it like a fly. Really, you know? I mean, and it's been happening all night long. It happened 2 days ago, and I'm over it. Okay? Just, it doesn't know me like I know myself. I'm a bulldog. I'm a bulldog. And when I want something, I'm going to go after it, and I want this. I want this. I want to wake people up because we're on a spiritual war. It's playing out on another land through actual war. But this is what the ancestors were telling us about. This is the spiritual war that's going to happen. It's now. It's here. Look out your window. Tell me what you see, because I see something that it's spiritual. And the darkness is not hiding itself anymore. It's way out in the open. Everybody knows about it now. You know? Have you ever wondered why these people aren't being put in jail? Really, but I'm not even going to go there. There's too many there's too many contenters who do a better job than me. Okay? That's not my forte. Okay? My forte is the dark night of the soul because I lived my entire life in it. My entire life I lived in the darkness. Go listen to my other videos. And if you want to know, you know, some stuff that I've been doing, go to TikTok. Go to TikTok and look up Casey.angeleyes. ANGELEZYII. You'll see me there. I'm on there. I'm telling my story on that one. Here I'm teaching. Over there I'm just telling my story. All right. So we've got the questions. I told you about Astro-seek. I told you about the Star-seek test. Let's see. I bitched about the Matrix. And let's see. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm off. I have to go get me a cup of coffee, and I need to calm my ass down because, I'm not a happy camper right now. Well, with you guys I am. Matrix? No, not at all. So I will see you in our next class. Okay? And from now on, like I told you, you are going to be known as the Lantern Warriors. Just like me. See, I have a lantern. You know, I'm a warrior. And I'm going to lead you out of this mess that you're in. It's not a mess, actually. You'll know on the other side. When you get to the other side, it's happening for you. But while you're going through it, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like it's happening to you. And you did absolutely nothing wrong. Except it's time for your soul to come out. It's time for the real you to come out. And the only way that Great Spirit's going to do that is to strip you of everything that you're not. Okay? You'll survive. You'll survive if you're a warrior. And if you quit, well, then it just wasn't your time. Everybody on earth, this is a school. It's a school. Everybody calls it, oh my goodness gracious. Everybody calls it a prison. It's not a prison. It's a school. It's a doctorate school. And you can't go from kindergarten to a doctorate in one lifetime. You just can't do it. I don't care. You can't. You know, so we're on a reincarnation wheel. But in the process of being on the incarnation wheel, the Matrix and the Archons and the Demiurge, they're using us as a battery. That's because they can't create. We can create. Our souls, this meat suit, it's gonna go back to Mother Gaia. In my last life, I looked totally different. I could have been a male. I don't know. I know I've had meditations where I've been males. Yes, I have. You know, I was one meditation, I told this over in TikTok. One meditation, I was a black carriage driver. I was a black house slave, basically. And my wife was the healer of the community. And my cousin in this lifetime was my son in that lifetime. And somebody got mad because they were jealous. And they shot me with a poo-poo, you know. And I didn't make it. I remember reaching down and trying to grab my wife. And I couldn't do it because I was leaving. And there was nothing I could do about it. There was another one. I was a flapper in the 1920s, and I had just auditioned for what's it called? A dance number, or I auditioned to be a flapper on stage. Okay, and I did very, very well. And then when I walked into the dressing room, my boyfriend was standing there with this. And that was the end of me then. I've seen it in meditations. I've seen myself as a little girl. And I saw buildings with flat roofs, okay? And they were real closely tight together, right? And then I saw a fence. And then behind the fence, I saw the pyramids. And there was a guard standing there. And I was running towards the fence. And the guard went like this to me. And I turned around and walked and ran back. Meditate. Meditate doesn't mean going om. Okay? For some, it works for some. It doesn't work for me. Okay? Not the om things. I tried it. It doesn't work for me. Okay? It might work for you. Guided meditations is mine. I have a whole world up in here. I have a big imagination. Okay? And so I can follow, their guided meditations. But even going out and doing your yard, sticking your hand in Mother Gaia, going out and sitting in a park, and just looking, just being quiet. That's meditation. It is. It's meditations. And that's what you need to train yourself to do. Take your time. Take time. and meditate. It doesn't have to be for long. When I first started meditating, I could only meditate for like 3 minutes, you know? And then it started getting longer and longer and longer the more I tried it. And now I can do guided meditations. I don't like to do the ohms. That's just not my thing, you know? Now when I do the backyard, I have a hammock. So when I get tired, you know, because I'm 62, okay? So sometimes I have to sit down. And I just sit on the hammock and swing back and forth and look. I saw a big old caterpillar. It was green. It was about this big and about this big around, crawling in the grass. And I saw this one little insect. It looked like a leaf. And I have the videos on my phone. I do have it on my phone. I don't have it on my TikTok. But it looked like a leaf, and it looked like it was just, just floating. But it wasn't floating. It was actually going somewhere. I looked it up. I'm an investigator. And it was some kind of bug, It was fascinating. It was very fascinating. Just stuff like that. Go talk to a tree. Go hug a tree. In fact, I just came out from talking to Mr. Tree. Mr. Tree is a tree in my front yard that was with me throughout my whole dark night. Knows everything. my anger. I didn't hit. Don't hit a tree. Don't. Because a tree will hit your back. See this finger? It's broken, right? I got in a fight with a boyfriend back, about 2011, 2012. And I got mad, so I went outside and I punched a tree and I broke my finger. So don't punch a tree. They'll punch you back. I have two little trees in the backyard, and my next door neighbor has loads of poison ivy. Now, everybody in my family is allergic to poison ivy, but I am not. I'm not allergic to poison ivy. So I can touch it with my hands and nothing happens to me. Okay? So I happened to have gloves on that day. But so I was trying to take the poison ivy off the plants, off the trees. And the trees were swaying. The trees were fighting me. I started laughing. They were slapping me in the head and everything. And I kept telling them, I talked to them just like that. I tell them, hey, dudes, man, I'm trying to get this thing off of you. Just come on now, work with me, So I finally got them off. So, and that's how I talk to nature. I'm going to teach you how to do that. I'm going to teach you how to see nature the way I see it. Well, try to, there's gold out there. Let me tell you something. My whole room, let me see. I'll show you something. See this? This is vulture wings. My daughter made it for me. And this is sand dollar. Okay, that's one thing. I had a girl a long time ago. Her and her dad made this for me. It's a rattle. Cool, huh? Yeah, I thought so too. I've kept it for years. I found this in my yard. See that? It's wings. I have it all over the place. In my dark night, I lost everything of value that the Matrix says is value. My car, my house, my freedom, my money, my business, my credit score, everything. Everything was stripped. I told you the story on the last video. But my treasures come from Mother Gaia. I have treasures all over. My whole room and office is loaded with treasures. Those are more important to me. Because those are real. Those are real. Mother Gaia's gifts. And I'm going to show you how to find your own. Because if what I want to do works, then Mother Gaia is going to give you gifts when you graduate from one level to the next. Because I want this to be all over the world. Hence me being on YouTube. So anyway, I rambled enough. I'll talk to you guys later. Good night, Lantern Warriors. Peace.